and then we're on it. How you doing, everybody? As promised, we've got the fantastic Genevieve Afonso. Even if she's like not fantastic herself, what a great name! That's like a brilliant name, isn't it? Have I said that right? Genevieve Afonso.
Yeah, surname's Portuguese, so when they say it, they swallow like sort of half the word.
All right. So how should I say it?
Afonso.
Afonso. Afonso.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not Portuguese, so.
I always want to put an L in it, Alfonso.
Yeah, a lot of people do, yeah.
Yeah, you get fed up with that.
Oh, it's all right. I've got such a long name to begin with. It's just something else to spell.
Oh well, that's all right. If only we only had that to worry about. I've had a really crappy day, and so's my partner. So so it's really nice to be online with you tonight. So just to sort of put people in the picture and of who you are and what you are. So I do some workshops for PACT, Parents and Autistic Children Together, and this is to help families with children who have autism or ADHD. And you turned up as a bit of a wild card, didn't you? Because you're an adult with ADHD, undiagnosed at the moment.
Yeah.
And you're kind of our pilot thing, really, that we're going to be working on more adults. But the big thing that got me interested in getting you on for a chat and sharing the information with the rest of the world is, well, most of Lincoln anyway, is the fact that you are a woman with ADHD, and that's kind of, we're starting to know now. We used to think 80% of ADHD was male, and now we're starting to really rethink that. And but we also know that women with ADHD present really, really differently. And so I get asked a lot, and you know, it's my specialist subject, and just there's nothing out there. So we thought having a little chat with you would be brilliant, you know, to sort of get you out there, sort of straight from the horse's mouth. I mean, I have my own ADHD diagnosis, as you know, but it does seem to present very, very differently in women. What's your ADHD journey like, Genevieve? How did you get to this point?
It was not that long ago, actually. It was really recently. I have Pinterest. I don't know if anybody's familiar with Pinterest, and based on. Oh, okay. Well, it's this app that, or you can do it online, but this app, and basically you just pin ideas that you like to mood boards. So you could have loads of different things. I've got so many. You can have recipes or sewing ideas, and it's loads of different people's ideas, and you just, oh, I like that. I'll put that on my Pinterest board. So I have one for like mental health, and I scrolled up once and I saw a comic about ADHD, how undiagnosed ADHD leads to anxiety and depression. Right. And I read it, I was like, oh, interesting, I feel like that. I was like, do I have ADHD? No. But then because I'd clicked on that comic, I scrolled down further and I got more of the same comics. And I thought, this is really relatable. Do I have ADHD? And then I spoke to my therapist about it. We did a screening test and he goes, I think you have ADHD.
Yeah. So, and did your therapist think that before you asked about it, or?
No, because I think, like you said, it's not really as diagnosed in women. So I don't think I present overly hyperactive. I'm more inattentive, which is, I think, more common in girls and women with ADHD. So when I said, I think I have ADHD, he went, why do you think that?
But then you see, you said that at one of our sessions. You said, oh, I'm not hyperactive. And you were sitting there on the chair and your feet were going like this and your hands were going like this. And I said, yes, you are. And you said, no, I'm not. And I said, well, your feet are going like this and your hands are going like that. And
I think it's a different type of hyperactive, because maybe for boys, they think hyperactive are running around. But then for girls, because maybe it's not like as accepted for girls to be rowdy, it presents more like twirling your hair or biting on your pen, cracking your knuckles. So I think those have all been present throughout my life, but
Right.
I was just called fidgety.
Yeah. For me, it was pacing up and down.
Oh,
Pacing
yeah.
up and down. And my son is exactly the same. He paces. He's worse than me. He's actually worse than me. He really, really paces. And it's so exhausting. You don't want to be pacing up and down, you know, especially at my age. You know, you want to be sitting down and resting, but pacing up
Yeah.
and down, that's what it is for me. And I've got to be doing something, you know.
Yeah.
So things like you know, I'm all cutting down trees and you know, and that's what I love. Big gardening, which has proved really
Oh,
popular
nice.
just recently. But you know, all that kind of stuff. And I think so. Maybe you're right. There's Thomas Phelan calls girls with ADHD pleasant space cadets. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, I can get behind the space cadet. I've had a teacher or two say that about me at parents' evening.
Yeah, interesting, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not perhaps the politest thing, but when he goes on
No.
to expand on it, he basically says that he said that you know, he said you've got the girl sitting at the back, staring out the window. You think she's not very bright,
Yeah.
but actually she's cleverer than you. You're just not reaching her. You
Yeah.
know, and that I think that's pretty accurate. Tell me about your drawings. Is that the right word to use? Your drawings, because I've been looking at your artwork on Instagram.
Oh. Yeah, I think I've always liked drawing. It was one of the things I did when I was in class and I was bored or just needed to fiddle with something. So I've always liked it. And then we went into lockdown and I thought, oh, I'd really like to try watercolor painting. So I was trying that for a bit. I guess it's one of those things I had a niche interest in at the time. I haven't watercolor painted for months now. But yeah, I got into it again and been trying to do it more consistently, but it is difficult to work up the motivation to do it, even though I do like it. But one day we'll open the art shop.
Yeah, yeah. Do you is it? Do you think it's related to your ADHD?
I do, because
Yeah.
it's one of many business ideas I've had. Sorry, there's a helicopter. Business ideas.
I'm not distractible. There's a helicopter.
Oh, I just thought because it's really loud.
Oh look,
Right.
it's ticking.
Oh, where was I?
Sorry. Two ADHD people having a conversation. What was that? Hey, I can't remember now. It was about the art. It was about
Oh
the
yeah, the business ideas. Oh, so many things. And even with like hobbies at school. I remember when I was in, I think it was like nursery school, my friend was doing ballet, so I thought, oh, I want to try ballet. But I did it for maybe, well, I don't know how long I did it for, maybe a month, but then I got bored. And then I did karate, but I never moved past a white belt. So that means I couldn't have been doing it very long. And I remember it was our first, I don't know if it was like a competition or something, but it was the first one that I did. And I didn't get anything. I didn't get a certificate or anything. And I think part of ADHD is like rejection sensitivity. So
yeah,
not getting a prize, I was like, I don't want to do this anymore. So that was the end of karate.
Was that the karate?
Yeah.
Did you like the physicality of it as well, though? Because I really liked that whole big movements thing. I did karate for a while by accident, but yeah, but you know, did you like that physical stuff of it?
Like I just like to move my body. I think that's why I like drawing, because I can do things with my hands, and I think that's why I'm good at like my job, because it's not just my mind the whole time. I can move my body around, because sometimes while I'm working I do kind of zone out a bit, but you have that muscle memory, so my hands are always busy. So yeah, I do think it was something to do with that. And then after that was chess, and then guitar.
Yeah.
And then what was it after that? Then I tried netball, but I realized I don't have very good hand-eye coordination.
Right.
What else? By the time I got to high school, my parents were a bit fed up of buying things like guitar and all those things that I needed to do these hobbies, that they said, oh, if you want to do anything, you're going to buy it yourself. Because I wanted to start tennis, and they went, oh, you're going to buy your own tennis racket.
Right. Yeah. Yeah,
So,
and it's so. I mean, and a lot of ADHD people do flip from one thing to another, and the special
yeah,
interests thing that we associate with autism is really interesting because I know more ADHD people with special interests, and really obsessive special interests. Some of whom, like yourself, flip from one thing to another.
yeah,
Some who stay with that same thing for years and years and years. But it's definitely part of it. And for me, it was always record collecting, and I've got books, literally crazy books with just pictures of records and catalog numbers and stuff like that in them. And you go, it must be for the rest of the world's most boring thing. But for the neurodiverse world, we're in on it, and we just don't pull away from these things.
yeah.
And there's always something, isn't there?
Yeah, that's true. I wish I was more consistent sort of with my things that I start. It's really frustrating because I think like this is the thing I'm going to stick with, and then 3 months go by and I'm like, I'm bored now.
Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? I mean, you get to a point where you can have a conversation on just about any subject, or you can fit in different places. I certainly feel that. I think one thing with ADHD people is we're very eclectic in our communication, and very sort of open to sort of chatting to people. But there was the big thing that you really shocked me about your ADHD, which was lockdown. Because I was telling everyone about what a miserable time people with ADHD had in lockdown, and how awful lockdown was. And for me, honestly, it was the worst time ever, worst time of my life. I just couldn't bear it. I
Yeah.
lost so much weight going for walks just to get out, and get out of the house. And that I thought was everyone with ADHD, but it turns out I was wrong, right?
I loved lockdown, honestly. It was getting a bit how do I put this? I don't know, I did feel like towards the end that I did miss doing certain things like going out for a coffee.
Hmm.
But honestly, if I had the type of job where they said, okay, we're going to work from home now, I'm like, yay.
Hmm.
Though I don't think I would have enough focus to work from home. So it's probably for the best.
Do you find your focus stops you doing a lot of things?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. You know,
Yeah. Sorry, go on.
what's what sort of things? What sort of things does it stop you doing?
Well, when I was in high school, I did, I would say, well-ish. I got by, but it was good enough that they said I wasn't reaching my potential. But
Right.
to me, like I was doing what I could. I didn't ever learn how to study effectively. So when I went into my exam, that was just me interested in the subject,
Right.
remembering. Because subjects I didn't enjoy, I did quite poorly in. So I did awful in history. I didn't do well at maths, but I wanted to be a vet.
Right.
So I knew like, oh, I have to work at maths, I have to work at science because I need to get in. And then I think I was 17. I kind of had I don't know, a quarter life crisis. No, it's not a quarter life crisis.
The three-quarter life?
Yeah, a 3/4. Yeah.
I've never heard of one before, but I'm maybe just a bit more switched on with the maths this evening
Yeah,
than I
an
usually
existential crisis because I thought, oh no, what am I going to do? And then I thought, well, I like baking muffins and stuff. Maybe I'll become a pastry chef. I realize now that I was just baking muffins to get out of doing my homework and stuff. It was just something to procrastinate because I found that
Oh,
interesting or I enjoyed it.
oh,
But I would have liked to do something in art, I think, like graphic design. But I know that a typical university setting with like academia is not for me because I just cannot pay attention.
but in theory, and particularly as an adult, although you're over 25, so that's I'm giving your secrets away now, Jen.
Right.
Um, but in theory, as an adult, you can sort of ask for things, ask for reasonable adjustments, and and a lot of people a lot of ADHD people and autistic people don't realize that they can ask for these adjustments, and you know, it should be there to suit you. It should be built around you. Just going back to that though, what's your Instagram again, if anyone wants to go and look at your pictures?
Oh, so it's at SM for mother, OLS, and then sketchbook. So Smalls sketchbook, one word.
So what does Smalls mean?
So, well, it's meant to have an apostrophe, but obviously because Instagram won't let you put that in the username. So small is like this internet term for like little.
Right.
Like a kitten or a puppy would be small. Like,
okay.
yeah.
Okay. Small or small.
Small, yeah.
Small. Okay. All right.
Like
No,
small.
it's worth going and having a look at this artwork. To me, it screams ADHD at me. It just screams ADHD. It's all this like fineness and kind of, you know. So I obviously, I in the course of my work, I find myself working with ADHD people and meeting ADHD young people, mostly at school, and obviously we don't meet too many girls with ADHD, and we're getting, you know, and even if I do, they've definitely not got a diagnosis, and they're, you know, or nobody's picked up on it. And I tend to be the one saying, has this girl got ADHD? Is this person, you know, got ADHD? And they sort of not really thought about it and stuff like that. And it's quite a difficult journey really for them, because they could be like 16, 17 years old, and all of a sudden we're asking new questions when they've, you know, almost been used to the fact that and I'm going to use that phrase, something wrong, you know, because that's the one we hear all the time, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know, we can't find anything wrong with you, you know. Well, if we find the ADHD, we're not finding anything wrong with you. We're just finding a different processor. What would you, if any, say to, you know, because we're going to have a lot of families watching this, and I'm guessing a lot of families with girls, what would you say to families with girls with ADHD, or indeed those girls and women with ADHD themselves? You know, what's the benefit of having ADHD? Because I think there are loads of benefits.
Oh, right. That question went in a completely different direction than I was anticipating.
It probably went in a different direction to what I planned. And I think I went off in a mad direction as well. And I kind of ended up asking something completely different. But hey, that's how we rock, you know?
I think it's not a bad thing to have ADHD, but like you say, I did go through like my schooling years thinking, oh, it seems so easy, like for my peers and stuff, to get through homework or get through projects. And I just thought, why am I struggling so much? And everybody, like neurotypicals, would be like, oh, just get a planner. I can write down in the planner all I like, but I'm not going to look at it. It's not going to help me. And they go, oh, just write down the things you have to do and then prioritize them. I don't know how to prioritize. Everything seems important to me. How do I know which thing to do first? Like, if I have to pick, I'm going to do the thing I like first.
Yeah. Where did I put that planner? Where did I put it? I left it somewhere.
Yeah,
I know it. I've actually got a planner that I really like, and it was designed by a company called Our Boards, who've since gone bust. And it's absolutely brilliant. You move these little stickers across, so it's got to do, doing, and done. And so instead of just writing a list and cross something out, so I had to work with the bank today. I've been trying to get you know, it's like you got the simplest of tasks and the banks can't do them, and you're trying to communicate with insane people, and so what are they like? I could do with less of them, but so I had to sort of bank transfer written on there on the to do, and then you ring them up and they're going, oh, you need to speak to somebody, but they're not until 2 or whatever, and all this kind of stuff. So you've really usefully got this middle bit, doing, and that's your pending stuff, you see. And I quite like that, because you're getting this visual of what you've got to do and what you're halfway through. And just about everything, nothing gets done in one go for neurotypicals or anyone else. So you move them to that. But the best bit is then when it's done, you put it in the done pile. And then at the end of the, so it's on the done sheet. And so at the end of the day, you can look at it and go, oh, look at all the things I've done today.
Yeah.
You know, so it's kind of nice. And I kind of like that. I don't know why they went bust, because I thought they were absolutely brilliant, absolutely fantastic design, but they did all sorts of stuff like that. But yeah, getting a planner. Yeah, someone says, get a plan, make a list, prioritize. What's the other one? Focus. Come on, Jen, why don't you just focus? Focus more now.
I
Do
saw
it now.
what was it? It was a tweet or something, and somebody said, still to this day, my mother doesn't think I have ADHD. She always says, I think you just need to focus a little. And this guy says to his mom, I understand that your brain is like a Honda Civic and can start on command, but my brain's like a unicycle and the devil rides its pedals. I thought that was brilliant.
Yeah, and it is, isn't it? And there's this sort of crazy kind of the absolute crazy sort of extremes about it, you know, absolute crazy extremes about it, you know, that yeah, the devil riding a unicycle is, you know, you're going to get everything out of that unicycle. But you know what, in true ADHD tradition, yeah, we didn't get an answer, did we, of what was the good things about ADHD? Or did we? And I just talked through you.
I think we were getting on it, and then we sort of went off on a tangent.
Yeah.
I think ADHD people are very creative, open to like developing new ideas, I guess, because I don't know, can't follow instructions.
Did you read the book about Oscar Schindler?
No.
Did I recommend it to you?
You might have done.
I forgot. You didn't write it in your planner, did you?
Sorry.
Oh God, didn't you need to focus? So yeah, there's the Oscar Schindler thing, isn't it? Who, you know, is that we now know he was ADHD, but you know, he was that kind of person that you really wouldn't have liked him if you met him. One of the greatest humanitarians of the 20th century, and from what I can work out, he was horrible. And you know, and he needed a thrill. He needed a thrill to get him through.
Yeah.
Maybe that's where your business things come from. Your different.
Yeah. When you say like the thrill, I think ADHD people are good in a crisis because kind of procrastinating and doing things at the last minute. So yeah.
Are you a fixer? Do you like fixing?
Yeah. Well, depends what it is. I don't know.
I love to fix. I love to fix. You know, if something's gone wrong, that's my kind of, that's my happy place to come in and, you know.
I guess I do, but not for myself. For other people, like things for myself, I never really know where to start or what to do. But I don't know. I feel like when I'm not responsible, but I think when other people are relying on me, I kind of get that external motivation to.
But is that because, so that I've got a theory on that as well. Is that because you've had your whole life of people telling you how crap you are? So if you fix things for other people, you know, that you're kind of solidifying the fact that you're not crap.
Probably, I do definitely have people-pleasing tendencies. So
yeah, so I think ADHD people are so friendly. I think they're the friendliest people. I think, you know, I've only ever met one bloke with ADHD that I didn't particularly like, and that was funny because a gentleman that we both know said, "Oh, but he's got ADHD." I said, "Just because he's got ADHD doesn't mean I like him." You know, but actually, in truth, I generally do like ADHD people, and I generally do kind of find myself drawn to them. I don't know how you feel about that, but
yeah,
you know, it's kind of that, and autistic people as well, you know, and all the any other, and I'm going to use my words carefully, perceived misfits. Every time I've had any dealings with normals, Yeah, it's never worked out well for me. It's never, you know.
I feel like it just comes from a place of misunderstanding, because like neurotypical parents of neurodivergent kids, blah, blah, blah,
Mm,
they don't understand, and they go, but I can do it, why can't you do it? My
yeah.
mom goes, I'm so good at organizing, why can't you be like that?
Mm.
Genevieve, I'm not untidy, why is your room such a mess? I don't know.
But then you were telling me, and this really surprised me, about some of the things you forget in the mornings, you know,
Yeah.
and some you were telling the group, and I was absolutely astounded. You know, even some of the big major things in the mornings. I don't know if you want to share. Can you remember that kind
Yeah,
of stuff?
yeah. Like things that for neurotypicals are a habit, for me, I have
Mm,
to remind myself to do it. And sometimes I have to think, like, if I wasn't present in the moment, I'll even not remember, like, did I do it? Did I not do it? Brushing my teeth.
yeah.
Did I brush my teeth? I can't remember if I was in a hurry or if I was like spaced out while I was doing it. So it's something that I need to consciously make the effort to do, not because I'm like unhygienic or don't have personal hygiene. It's just that it's not something that I automatically do. Like a lot of people wake up in the morning and they have their routine. Um, I mean, I try to have a routine, but I just get distracted by so many things. It's difficult to kind of plan my morning like that. I set my watch back. I think, I don't know. It was supposed to be 5 minutes, but I don't know. It seems like it's 8 now. Anyway, I'm still always late for work every day.
Oh yeah. Is that because you get distracted? There was a great, I can't remember if I shared it on Instagram, but there's a woman getting ready for work in the morning. And I don't know, you'll know because you watch my Instagram stuff.
Yeah.
And she was getting ready for work in the morning and she was looking for in a drawer a brush or something
Oh
like
yes,
that.
I think I did see that. And then she opened the cupboard and then closed the cupboard, and then she was about to walk out and she like, oh, and then
Yeah,
turned
and then
around.
she pull out, oh, there's my hairdryer. I've been looking for that and all that kind of stuff. And yeah, it's that kind of like there's just no structure to it, is there?
Yeah. Or
Yeah,
I'll get like a thought while I'm brushing my teeth, and I think like, oh yeah, I must remember to um write that down. Or sometimes I'll think of something and be like, oh, I need to Google that. That's interesting. And then I'll do that then, because I don't know, I find that interesting in the moment. And then sometimes I'll be brushing my teeth. I learned recently I have no idea how long 2 minutes is.
really.
So sometimes I'll be brushing my teeth and I zone out, and then I don't know how
You
long
know,
it's been, five
what you
minutes.
should do, you should get an old record player in the bathroom and put on a like an old rock and roll record like Elvis or something. They're always about 2 minutes, aren't they? And then you could multitask. You could dance to Elvis and brush your teeth at the same
Yeah.
time.
Oh, my cat just joined us. Hello.
I'm not distractible. Oh look, there's a cat. So the what I did for my sons um, with the teeth brushing and also clean underpants to get them to when they were younger um, was I drew a picture of a pair of underpants, a pair of boxer shorts, and I stuck it on their bedroom door.
Okay.
And so they would walk past this picture every day and they'd see this picture of stripy pair of boxer shorts that I did, and they would, and it actually worked. They changed their underpants. So then in the glow of success, what I did was I got another picture, but this was a postcard of a horse baring its teeth like that, like this horse, and I stuck it on the bathroom mirror, and it was there for years, and it worked. They would go in because the one thing you don't forget is to go to the toilet because you just can't. So
Yeah.
they'd go in and use the toilet, but then they'd see this horse and brush their teeth. And I just thought, you know, but that's that whole kind of, you know, once you get beyond that, then you end up with a fridge covered in notes, don't you? And the cupboards with like blue tack, this, that, and the other to them.
Yeah.
You know, and it's kind of where does it all end? But you know, that just that toothbrushing and clean underpants, that's an achievement. Hey, up, you're frozen. Let's fill some time, Andrew. So The toothbrushing, yeah, and the horse's head were like a really good one for me. The other one I quite like, is leaving things in obvious places. So if I've got, you know,
Cut out for a chunk of time there.
what's that say?
It cut out for a bit there.
Yeah, don't worry about it. Yeah, I covered for you. No one will ever notice. They'll just they'll just think you were frozen in time, which is that's the funny thing, isn't it? Is it uh, about this sort of Zoom thing? You know, I never knew any of this existed before lockdown. Did you?
Yeah, well, I knew about Skype because my dad used to work in Australia, so we used to Skype him. But I feel like now there's so many things.
Yeah, yeah. I never. To me, I remember seeing it when I was a kid on Star Trek, and the Captain Kirk would be communicating with someone in a little box, probably a
Oh, yeah.
silver painted cornflake box, and there'd be a something on there. And I remember thinking, wouldn't that be great, you know? And then we all got it, and nobody likes it, do they? No, so don't video me all because my hair and stuff like that.
Well, I think that's because we're not in space.
Yeah, on the Enterprise, that would be great, wouldn't it? Waiting for the answer that never came. No, Andrew, that would be really crap. That would be really, really crap. So going back to it, because people are going to want to know about ADHD, was you were saying about your mother that she had none of these behaviors or anything like that? So, you know, do you get asked where did it come from?
Well, I don't speak to my mother anymore. It's a whole different story. But I think my biological father may have had ADHD because my half sister has ADHD and her son's just been diagnosed with dyslexia, ADHD, sensory processing disorder, midline crossing something or other. So
Oh, he's got
really
the set. He's got the set then.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, that's good, isn't it? All of them. Is it 50% of ADHD is dyslexic?
Yeah, I've heard that as well. Yeah.
Yeah, probably from me. Could have been. Who knows?
And then on my mother's side, my uncle, her brother, has ADHD and dyslexia, and so does his daughter.
Right. Yeah. My dad's so ADHD. He's like you can't leave him. You just can't actually leave him for like he's 82 or 83 or something, and he's just outrageous. He's absolutely outrageous. So you know, I wanted him to meet my partner, and I said, oh, you know, and I'm on the phone. I said, Dad, just behave yourself. Don't say anything stupid. Don't, you know. And you just know he's going to do something. And so I said, here's my partner. Oh yeah, hi. And they're chatting, and I must have left the scene for less than a minute. And he was like, I think I can't remember. He said something like, "What you doing hanging around with this prat?" And it's like, I left you for 1 minute, one minute. We used to go for a pint together. We used to go for a beer, and we'd go and sit in a pub, and he'd get up and go and sit with someone else who he didn't know, and just start having a conversation. He needed that stimulus from people.
My grandfather was like that, so maybe he had ADHD.
Oh, I'm sure so. I'm sure so. And then my uncle Terry, he was the funniest person I knew. But he just said stuff, and you just went like, where did that come from? We were walking down the street once, and he just wandered into someone's garden and started telling this woman how stupid her house looked. and she was going, my husband designed this house. And he was going, well, he's a prat then, isn't he? and I just loved it. I thought it was the best thing ever. I just thought he was so outrageous. You can imagine his wife wandering off going, Terry, you know, and but I loved it. I absolutely loved it. I thought it was the best thing ever.
That's that impulsivity.
Yeah, it's brilliant. And then apparently my grandmother during the war slept with half the American army, you know.
Okay,
But,
good
you
grandma.
know, yeah, so yeah, go grandma. Yeah. Well, she wasn't a grandma at the time, but you know, and you
She
just
was
go,
having a hot girl summer.
yeah, that's it. That's it. Yeah, she had a different kind of blitz, you know. So yeah.
Oh,
So, you know, because again, Terry was just you used to have to take these American soldiers cups of tea in bed. But you know, and then when you look at it, actually, it was all about survival, you know, and she's always got a packet of cigarettes, a bar of chocolate, and some stockings, you know. So it kind of, you know, and there's that as well when you're talking about good in a crisis,
yeah.
you know. That sort of sounds a bit mad, doesn't it? Grandma was good in a crisis. But you know, it's kind of it's interesting. Just if you the other thing is, just if you're interested, I'm on the alcohol-free beer. Do you drink at all? Do you drink alcohol?
Sorry, let me just close the window because I feel like my cat's going to jump out.
Okay.
No, it's fine. Um, alcohol, I drink. Sometimes I'll have like a glass of wine, but I wouldn't say that I drink so regularly that I could say, oh, I have about 3 drinks a week. It's very like few and far between.
Yeah.
I mean, unless I go on a night out, then yeah, which is
Yeah.
also not very often.
Right. Why? So we'll start with the alcohol because what I'm always saying to people, alcohol and ADHD neurologically don't mix too well. They really don't mix well because of your noradrenaline and your dopamine levels. You know, when you drink alcohol, it's different. It doesn't. It just kind of. It's not. It's not that it makes ADHD people. It doesn't make ADHD people aggressive or nasty or anything like that. It just doesn't sort of sit well with that neurological difference. And so I always advise against it.
Yeah.
I've not had alcohol for 4 years come September.
Okay.
And so, you know, and I like it like that. I've never slept so well in my life. I've really never slept so well. I'm like the dead. I sleep like the dead. You can wake me up, but I'm gone again within seconds, you know. But then it's that ADHD. Oh, 6 o'clock in the morning, time to get up, bounce, 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 till you go downstairs, cup of tea off, you know. But
Oh,
yeah,
you wake up early? I do not wake up early.
do you not? Do you not?
No. I'm
No.
more of a stay up till 2 a.m. and then wake up at 10, 11.
Oh, no, 8:30, I'm ready for bed. 8:30, I'm ready for bed. I'm like, see ya. Yeah, and then that's probably my age. I'm getting old now. So why don't you go out much?
Um, to be honest, I just don't really have many friends.
Okay, okay.
But also it's just I have to be in the mood for it, and also it's something that I can't plan too far in advance because I feel like when I'm in a good mood, I'll make plans for something, and then the time comes and I just get that like horrible anxiety stomach and I just don't want to go. So if I do something like spontaneously, I'd be like, oh, let's go out tonight,
Yeah.
like with the girl from work. Then I guess it's okay. I feel all right then, but it does take at least 2 drinks for me to sort of not be anxious.
Hmm. That anxiety thing in the stomach, that comes with the turf with ADHD, doesn't it? I think it comes with the territory. I think pretty much everybody I know, including myself, always got that. I wake up with it. I wake up with it every day. Yeah, and there's no reason behind it. There's absolutely no reason behind it. Why is it there? You know, there's nothing going wrong. You only got all you
No,
got to do
sorry.
is that cat off again.
We're on the 2nd floor and he keeps trying to go out the window.
That's all right.
Okay, I've shut it now. I'll just have to sweat.
Oh, okay. Well, before we log off, it would be worth sort of saying a few. You've got your diagnosis coming up, haven't you, or your assessment coming up?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. Although I do have to have somebody who's known me before the age of 12 fill out a bunch of questions.
Right.
I mean,
I've heard that, and I don't think I could find anyone, and they didn't mind. I don't think they needed it
yeah,
ultimately, especially if you're not in your own country. I mean, you
yeah.
know, the only people that knew me before the age of 12 is my brother and sister, and they're both ADHD as well.
All right.
So they can't write anything down, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's what do you think? I mean, what would happen if they said you didn't have ADHD? There's a thought.
I have thought about this, and I don't know. I feel like, when you know something about yourself,
Yeah,
and I would just need them to confirm what I already know.
yeah,
Like, for example, when I was in high school, I was getting this horrible pain in my lower stomach. I thought I had a urinary tract infection. Went like 10 hours, the pain didn't go away. And I was like, something is definitely wrong. And it was
right.
maybe 11:30 at night. And I went into my parents' room and I said, I think you need to take me to the hospital. And they always just told me I was over dramatic. So they said, oh, you're just overreacting. We'll take you to the doctor in the morning.
Hmm.
But I lay down in bed. I just knew something was wrong. So I went and Googled my symptoms, as one often does.
Yeah,
And I was like, I have appendicitis.
right.
So I told them that, and they were really upset about it, and like cross, like, oh, we have to drive you to A&E right now, and it's 12 o'clock at night. But yeah, I did have appendicitis, and I got my appendix removed the next day.
So now you've got appendicitis of the brain.
Yeah, except
Yeah.
I don't remove that, please. I need
Sorry?
that. I don't need my brain removed.
No, 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 no. They'll probably do that eventually for ADHD people. You get a brain transplant.
Yeah,
Or it'll become trendy and neurotypical people will have ADHD brains fitted.
you can download your ADHD onto a chip and just implant it.
Yeah, yeah, like Data from Star Trek. Wouldn't Star Trek be great? Oh no, we tried that earlier, didn't we? We did try that earlier. So yeah, so it is interesting, isn't it? When I spoke to the clinical psychologist that diagnosed me, I remember saying to him, we'd have a look, see, I think I might have ADHD. And he burst out laughing. And he said, oh, Andrew, he said, you're probably he said, the first time I saw you speak at a conference, he said, I thought you were one of the most ADHD people I've ever seen. And so that was kind of funny. But it's what I think is interesting is the masking side of ADHD. I think ADHD is worse when you're trying to mask,
Yeah,
and I'm 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 very, very happy with life at the moment, and I'm getting married soon, all that sort of stuff, and so obviously I'm on a real high, and because of that, my ADHD presentations have almost disappeared, and I think ADHD people are more ADHD. Well, the happier they are and the contented they are, the less the ADHD shows.
interesting.
Yeah, yeah, that's well, only from my own experiences. Only from my own experiences. I'm absolutely, just really in a good place, and therefore I don't present with the ADHD. So it's well, I do, but not in the same way as I did maybe 2 years ago or something like that.
Yeah, I
So
can't say I relate, because I think a lot of the things that I've struggled with all along, when I think like, oh, my depression must be getting bad again because I'm starting to do all of these things.
yeah,
That's just my ADHD, because even though I've been on antidepressants for over a year now,
mm,
there's still some things that I can't do. And I think that's not the depression, that's just having ADHD.
yeah, maybe it's like that, like the anxious stomach thing every morning and all that sort of
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah, 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 I get that. So anyway, must thank you for coming along. It's been really brilliant. I know you're going to be an absolute benefit to families of girls, particularly with ADHD, and women and girls with ADHD themselves, or think they might have ADHD, and get you through Instagram, can't they? Tell
Yeah.
everyone again what's your Instagram.
Should I write it down? Would that be, and then we can screen grab it. I don't know. Let me find it.
I wouldn't know how to do that. I wouldn't know how to do that, but you can, I'm sure, come up with something. And then whilst Genevieve's doing that, don't forget Andrew and the Magic Give a Shitometer, my book about ADHD, is still available on Amazon. So you can get that. That's all about sort of childhood with ADHD and growing up with ADHD. So do give that a look. It's got 40 5-star reviews, which is yeah, I know, like that. I don't think the Paul McCartney didn't have that for his latest album, did he? So 45-star reviews. So I'm really pleased with it, and people have been really kind about it, despite all the spelling mistakes and grammar problems. So do check that out. Speak to Small Sketchbook at Instagram. Was that right? Small Sketchbook?
Yeah.
Yeah, I did it. So Small Sketchbook at Instagram, and you sell your art somewhere as well. Did I find you on Patreon?
No, but there's the plan is to start an art shop. See, I did buy all the packaging stuff because during the lockdown I was like, right, I'm gonna start an Etsy to sell my art stuff. I bought all the packaging stuff. I designed business cards and a logo and all of that stuff. But I have yet to actually open the shop.
Okay, all right, but keep an eye on this page, and
I do take commissions though. You can message me on my page.
Brilliant. Go and have a look at the art. It's brilliant. I really liked it. It's a bit wacky. It's a bit out there, but it's really, really good fun. Thanks ever so much, Genevieve. It's been
Thank you, Andrew.
No, it's no problem at all. Lovely to see you here. Well, I'm going to stop that, and we'll see you all next time. And hopefully we'll interview some more people. So take care, everybody.